So first of all, welcome back to today's class, CISG114, Section 2, Technology and Life. Today's day number 13 in week number 7. So we missed 1 week, that is last week, but fortunately we have to put of environment. So actually for those of you who got used to this blended learning model, you know that you can keep up your learning with the resources posted online. Now, last week, I did post to the public online discussion forum a number of important results. First of all is the student experience questionnaire result after your competing learning contract number 1. The second is the result of the midterm course survey. And in response to some of the comments collected based on these 2 results, I've given you a very interesting article here, which is an article which used to help us to understand the meaning of using video to reinvent education in today's world. And the message here is, using this approach, you can actually have a personalized approach to learning. That means depending on your own pace of learning, use the video could really help. We will get to discussions on that later on, if time allows today. And then I would like to give you a very important fact about the learning pyramid. Each one of us who gone through studies in a secondary school should agree with this result with no objections, but we still have to look at it so that with your support we can understand it better. And after that, there is a very catchy phrase called rethinking school educations, which said, learning is not the direct product of teaching, but the product of the activities of the learner. And then I did send out an invitation, which is very important about your learning contract number 2 and also learning contract number 3. That is, you need to give me the team formations of 2 pairs that you're going to put together to become your team. Which was sent out on September the 30th, but if you look at the response, as they got 0 response. So I need your help today to provide your team formations detail for me. And then for the sign up for this week, if you're interested in doing some sharing in class this week, you're free to sign up here by pressing the reply button, and you will give them a chance to share in class. In the first section, the reasons why I was late today is because too many students in this section 1 share in class. They know it's important for their final score. So I'm going to start out today by helping you to understand the result of the student experience questionnaire first. Actually, I have one more important announcement which is made in the class announcement list, which I'm going to come back to. So let's go through the results of the student questionnaire for the first one, which asks you for your response on, do you agree that we're actually getting through the course after, or better say, the first learning contract, which you believe is consistent with the program intended learning outcomes that's listed here. And the result is, I got altogether 4 students who believe that we are not, but we have 12 students who say that we believe that we are. So based on the 7 program intended learning outcomes for GE educations here, okay, so we are actually going through a process of helping you to understand something much more important, okay? So, excuse me because I'm having a cold today. So let's take a look at the 7 program intended learning outcomes, which says with this course, we're actually going through helping you to understand subject-specific knowledge on web technology and life to ensure that you could engage in questions both temporary and enduring. That means you can understand the issues so that you can have a good conversation with others in this subject area. The second thing is to help you to share ideas effectively in written and modes of communication, all modes of communications formally and informally, which is very typically demonstrated in your forum discussion, in your report. And also, excuse me, manage your learning and development, particularly paying attention to the time management, your organization skill, as well as lifelong learning. Now, you just gone through one learning contract, and in the learning contract, you have a number of activities to perform, such as journal. The meaning of the journal is to make sure you know how to pick things up and organize it for your own learning. You also have the discussion forum. You have the chance to share. You have a chance to write your report and then to reflect on this. And you also know that you have just 4 weeks time to do it, so time management is a part of this. So basically, and you look at number 4, is critical thinking and problem solving skills. It's demonstrated in the OIA format, so disciplined thinking and writing your journal first, and then your report, right? And then the ability to interpret and synthesize a range of information exemplary means the ability to use information literacy skill by discovering relevant sources to support the argument. So a little bit of this is demonstrated in your learning of the first learning contract, and actually, depending on your involvement, how much of these you're doing is another matter, okay? So personal social responsibility, ethical reasoning and actions, interpersonal competency, engagement with diverse communities, and real challenge. Well, we did talk about the corporate social responsibility. We did talk about what can we do to bridge the digital gap and examples of doing that. And then we let you integrate your emergence ideas into your learning. 7 is, I think it's too early, 7 is because that is designed for the learning portfolio. But overall, you can see that I still have 4 persons to convince in this class that we're going in this direction. So I need to work harder to make sure that during class we can have more opportunity to discuss, so you understand the meaning of that. But I'm grateful, tell you, I'm grateful that we have 12 students who believe that we are going in this direction. And the second question is, as far as the course learning objective is concerned with 3, and it's listed here, it's related to the GE program intended learning outcomes here on the other side. And let's take a look at the results of how you look at it. Now we have very fortunate, we have only 1 student that maybe we're not going in this direction. We have 15 students who believe we are. So this tells me my efforts in the past 4 weeks has been fruitful in the sense that I know this being justified. So what about number 3? Now this is a very tricky question. It's tricky in the sense because I have actually not discussed the course intended learning outcome with all of you in class so far. I just alluded that you need to study this because I include this in the course syllabus, and particularly I include it in the course syllabus in a very large part. Indeed, what you're doing in the first learning contract in the context of journals, in the context of report, in the context of discussion forum, as well as abroad, involved a little bit of this. But I did not talk about this expressly in class in the past 4 weeks. Okay, I just went through the class and said we're learning something new. Oh, of course, topic-wise, we did introduce a different video to help you understand it, but look at the action verb. Will productively differentiate use. We have not emphasized that. But fortunately, let's take a look at the results. Very interesting. Take a look at that. I have 6 students. The 6 students who say no in the very first question come back again. No, we have not actually looked at that. But I still have 10 students who believe that we are. So topic-wise and direction-wise, they're 2 different things. Okay? Because I never mentioned course intended learning outcome in class for width. And when I asked you to fill up this questionnaire, I just tried to see how much of you, how many of you could really see the connections. I'm grateful. Out of 16 students who complete this questionnaire, 10 of you indicated you see the connections. Again, 6 of you, I still need to make sure that you understand connections. Normally, when we cover a traditional speaker, when we cover a topic, we just cover a topic from the perspective of, do you understand what it is, how it's being used? But when you look at the course intended learning outcome, it means it is something the students are expected to be able to do at the end of doing that. Now, I have not emphasized that in the past 4 weeks. And so, of course, when you look at it from this angle, you will say disagree. But what can we expect in the first 4 weeks of the course? We have to go step by step. That's what we're going into in the second and third learning contract. But anyway, but it's very optimistic that this is a very important class and that you know what we're going through. Now let's take a look at this. Do you agree that this general education course has been delivered so far according to the course schedule as stated in the published syllabus? Now take a look at that. The schedule in the published syllabus is a very brief schedule, and the detailed schedule is actually included in your Voodoo environment where you can see all the intermediate details. Let's take a look at the number of students who say no, 3. Okay, I'm so grateful. What about those students who say, okay, we support it? We have 13 students who support this. The differences is just the level of detail. Okay, we cannot say we have diverged from that. We don't, but we have to sometimes delay some items and come back to cover the items because of the time limit per class. And we also invite you to make sure that you stick to your Voodoo environment because it's there 24/7. And you can always use them to help you understand something. So the differences between this very interesting question is from 6 persons we come back to 3 who say no. Okay, so this is how I'm going to understand most of you. What about, have you studied the General Education's handbook? And 1 say completely, 5 say more than 50%, 10 say less than 50%, and 2 say not at all. Now look at that, 2 say not at all. And include a 2 in the 6 persons that knows to say no, you understand something. Now, have you studied the course syllabus as suggested by the instructor in the first day of class? 2 completely, 1 almost more than 50%, 9 less than 50%, and then 4 say not at all. Interesting, when you add this 4 to 2 is 6, all right? So you can see that this is if not gets incorrectly, the maximum number of students who will always say no will be not more than 6 for the first question. And let's try to see it. All right, so which part of the course syllabus have you studied as suggested? 10 say part A, very good. 9 say part B, 5 say part C, 2 said part D, and 3 said part E. Okay, this is information. So which was the most difficult? Which part is the most difficult? And goes a little bit too fast, okay? The most difficult part, 2 said is part A, 1 says part B, another says part B is basically the opposite. 3 says part C. Part C is, I would say, it's the most difficult, but a lot of you say part D and part E. Okay, we're going through outcome-based approach to teaching and learning. And so the part D is the introductions, and part E is the detailed substantiations of part D. But when we step into learning contract number 2 and learning contract number 3 is basically part C. So it's okay. But what about Voodoo environment? Let's take a look at how have you studied a course Voodoo environment, suggested by me. 4 will say completely, 4 said between 3 and 4 week blocks, 1 say fewer than 3 week block, 5 fewer than 2 week blocks, and 2 only the first week block. Okay, 2 is a figure, and then you have to understand this, okay, on the first week block. Now, do you agree that having studied the General Education Handbook could help you understand better this course learning design according to the published syllabus, connections between the syllabus and the GE Handbook? 1 said disagree, 3 said slightly disagree, and 12 said agree. Okay, 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 is still less than 6 predicted earlier. Okay, all right, so you see that this is a very interesting thing. Do you agree that having studied a published course syllabus, including the course design philosophy, could help you understand better the day-by-day classroom online activities? Let's take a look at that. One said, no, having studied the published syllabus, I don't even understand better the day-by-day classroom activity, and no help. One say disagree. 9 disagree with 113, still less than 6, which is predicted at the very beginning. But I have 13 students who said, yes, it's going to help. All right, so it's, again, the prediction is consistent. What about 12? Now, do you agree that the published course syllabus, including OBTL details, have been well organized to help you understand better the day-by-day classroom and online activity of this GE course? We, again, bring it back to the syllabus, asking you, have you studied the syllabus? And take a look at those disagree. 1 disagree, 2 study disagree, 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 is still less than 6, which is predicted from the very first 3 questions. So again, I have 13 students saying, okay, all right? So consistently, I have to identify, to make sure that the 3 students who disagree will understand the meaning of this course, all right? I need to win the heart of those 3 students back. But you have to come to talk with me to make sure that I can share with you what's important. Now, well, let's take a look at number 13, blended learning. Do you believe blended learning, that is face-to-face, as we're doing now, plus the weekly class, before class, during class, after class, and the week activities can help you understand the day-by-day classroom activities much better? Again, 1 strongly disagree, very strong feelings. 9 disagree, 3. 1 plus 3 is 4, less than 6. And 12 students who believe that it's good because you can manage your learning by referring back to the links before class, during class, after class, and end of the week. These are very important recommendations. Reminder that you need to understand in case you miss anything, and it's already there 24/7, and it could help you in case you miss class, all right? So positively speaking, it's a plus. But still some students say, no, I believe that there's 4 students who have actually not studied or looked at those links to see how useful they are. So anyway, and I'm trying to make it simple for you to understand. Now, compared to the blended learning, if we take away the face-to-face part, just take a look at the weekly electronic resources. Do you believe they are useful to help you to understand day-by-day class? I just reduce the number of disagreement to only 1, and I have 15 students who support yes. So let's take a look at the very interesting phenomenon. These are the resources, okay? The resources together with the mode of helping you to learn makes you feel a little bit disagreement. The resources themselves neutral, so only 1 disagree. Now what about the format of the class? The format of the class say, you can actually sign up before coming to class to have a slot to share the learning, and you can earn your score 20% towards the end of the semester, which is a very large score. And let's take a look at how many of you say yes. Disagree is 1. Slightly disagree is 3. But those who agree and slightly agree are up to 12. So again, 1 plus 3 is 4, less than 6. So you need to understand that you can sign up and make sure you participate in class by sharing what you learned. And then you can earn your score along the way, much larger portion of the score than your homework and your learning contract, 20%. So why not do it? So how do we win some electronic resources if you study? Now take a look at learn about the forwards. At least 1 student who did not take a look at any of them with those resources. 2 students who were willing to study all forwards. 2 students, only 3 out of forwards. 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 4. That means 5. It's 8 students who study at least 2 block widths. 3 students study only 1 block width. So take a look at the honest answers, which will end up to the confused about answers, which you take in the earlier questions, and then you can take 6 as the maximum. Now take a look at that. Do you agree that G course can help you participate actively in class? This is the message. Do you know that you can participate actively in class, every class there is a score? And if you take a look at the number of students who do not aware that is 4 because they disagree, all right? If you understand you can take advantage of that, because there is no reason for you to disagree, because when you have the microphone to share your learning, the next thing you can do is you engage the rest of the class to understand the topic. So by that way, there's no reasons why you say no, okay? So again, it's less than 4. Less than 6, not less than 4. Do you agree that the G course can help you develop your own independent learning in the subject area? And what do you mean by independent learning? Pick the topic of your interest, study it at your own pace, make sure you understand the reasons. Let's take a look at the person who disagreed. 1 strongly disagree, 1 disagree, 4 slightly disagree. Now that is the borderline, the threshold, 6 altogether. Fortunately, it did not exceed 6. It's predicted at the very beginning. And then I have 10 students who say, yes, it can help you to develop independent learning, but in what way? So the next question asks you, in what way means, do you believe this GE course can help you understand the related knowledge content applications? And when you look at that, the number of students who disagree reduced from 6 to 2, okay? When there is something very much specific, I got more supporter. I got 14 students who support this. Now, the next question, what about thinking critically? If you are aware that when you do your journals, you have to force you to think about OIA to fit the looks taken into 3 categories, that is critical thinking. So how many students do not agree? Strong disagree 1, disagree 1, slight disagree 1, 3. Okay? So you by taking disagree in this particular answers, I know that you may not know enough about the meaning behind doing your journals and your reports and your discussions, because you have to use OIA very much consistently over the 3 important artifacts. And by going through the 3 important artifacts, use an experience to practice in critical thinking. Fortunately, I got 13 students who supports this, all right? Now what about this? Communication skill. Well, you take a look at 5 students said, no, I don't think it helped me develop my communication skill. Now, when you share your journals, the set of OIA with your learning partner, you actually have to express what you discover with your learning partner and see how you can get across those points. Those are very important communication skills. Read from your chosen source, write to express the journal, and speak so as to keep your learning partner in touch. So communication skills is well covered in the first learning contract. Still, 5 students do not believe that they are doing this, but I got 11 students who believe that we are doing it, okay? So you have to think about the activity you got through. And what about the instructor? Do you think that I can help you learn to learn? Now, I got 3 students who say no, because it looks like we're on our own, but I got 13 students who believe that by going through the suggested exercise and going through the journals, discussion forums, the report, the blog, as well as the proposals, you're actually going through the process of learning to learn. Now, most of the time, when you disagree with that, because you're actually the type of taught to learn student who very much are unwilling to move from your comfort zones, which is taught to learn. You need a teacher to help you, all right? So there's nothing wrong about this, but if you cannot transition that from this taught to learn model to a learn to learn model, there got to be some major reasons. Okay, ask yourself what exactly that is. It's a tendency. Okay, what about this? Which item below have you completed? Online journals, the most number of people. Discussion followed the 2nd, report the 3rd, the blog was 6, proposal with 4, the meeting minutes is 4. Do you mean that you give up the 4 points over there? So 24, 7 say you did measure the time, 9 say no. And then what about the very interesting questions on how many hours per week have you spent? 5 cents less than 2, 5 cents from 2 to 4, 4 cents from 4 to 6, and 2 cents more than 6 hours. Remember, 6 is a threshold. I said not more than 6 according to the syllabus. So it's basically 4 to 6 is the maximum, but mostly just 2 to 4, which is typical common situations. Now that's very interesting. Look at that. I very much appreciate a student who spent only 30 minutes time to complete a whole set of artifacts for learning content number 1. This is supposed to be a Superman. 2 hours, also Superman. 1 hour, Superman. 1.5 hours. So I'm just telling you that if you can actually manage the completions of the artifacts in 30 minutes or 1 hour, I'm afraid you really cannot taste the meaning of those activities behind. Because the idea is to make sure that you know how the positions you're learning, you spend time. So 30 minutes including choosing a topic, completing your journals, sharing with your learning partner, and then writing your report, and then writing your blog, coming up with your proposals, and writing your meeting minute in 30 minutes. So, and you see that I have more than one student who say that. I have at least 2, okay, who said 30 minutes, and 3. So this is very interesting in this class. Now the idea, you actually have given me, yes, you count the number of students who spend from 1 hour to 30 minutes, then not more than 6. So that means in this class I have students who actually have used the attitudes of dealing with homework to finish, and then instead of putting your heart into learning something. There's a very interesting fact that I need to be very cautious, because the activities behind a learning contracts artifact is meant to help you develop the skills. And if you just finish your homework in 30 minutes, I'm afraid you do not understand the skill sets yet, because it takes time to do it. How many journals have you done? 12 segment 1 journals. Then it's okay. This 2 questions is still workable. And then what about this? Now, I'm very happy that most of you understand the meaning of this question. I asked you, say, which reading list you have studied, which question you have selected, and which source of that question you selected. Except for this answer is very interesting. I think the gentleman or the lady here may not understand the meaning of this. Which reading list you didn't say, which question you didn't say, which source you selected didn't say. Okay, so that it's a mistook, a mishap. The technology with which questions, which source. Well, very much consistent with the student who was saying you spend 30 minutes time doing it, because you may not know the requirements. And if you do not know the requirements, you may not understand what you're going to get out of it. So I hope that I can spend more time with you, your time with me, come to talk with me, so that we can understand how to help. For the other, it's very good. So there is something that tells me about the situations in your learning. Maybe you're really in a rush to get this done, or maybe you really didn't spend time there, but anyway, that is very important. Now, that is also another very interesting question. I asked you, you've gone through learning contract number 1 with IBL, which involves some activities that we expect you to do, such as selecting a topic, do notes on the topic in a structured IA format, to discuss with your learning partner, and write a report together, and then a blog, and take a look at what you said, what some of the students said. Sorry, I forgot this LC2. Later I will read and finish about LC2. What does it mean? What does it? It means that you didn't do anything. And so trying to figure it out. Well, very good, you're very sincere, but that means you did not do the work. I'm trying to understand what teacher tells us. Don't try, come to me and ask me a question. I've forgotten what is IBL, questioning, all right? So I very appreciate the honesty of both of you in this class, because when you try to tell me something, you tell me really what it is. But I will discover that the picture is I need to help a little more, all right? We can go to the IBL to learn the knowledge and see what we have learned. The team spirit is very important. I can't understand the LCC for a while. If you can understand, come to ask me a question. remember at the beginning age when I asked you what are some of the things that are not clear for you understand to carry on. You need to make the best use of the opportunity to say your pride. You don't want the whole class to see it. Make sure you send it to me through WSQ in a hotline so that I know how to respond to you. Or you can catch my office hour, come and talk to me, not English and Chinese, okay? So if you don't understand it, you should make sure you ask questions, all right? Then I think it's independent to find resources that we ought to know. This is a very interesting way to answer. I don't know how to explain. Then we know more about the knowledge in each class. There's too many things to figure out and do it by self-independent thinking and learning. How to find and use resources by yourself in search and discussion. After reading this, I have an immediate thought in my thinking. What I'm thinking of is we need to have much more open discussion, and maybe we need to have discussions in shut down the camera in Chinese, okay, to make sure you understand what you need to do and what kind of support you need in order to do something like this. Because normally when students are invited to complete a piece of homework, two phenomena is very typical. Students would not do the homework 80% of the time given. They would stop doing the homework with the remaining 20% of the time given. This is not so serious, everyone understand it. But normally students who stop doing the homework should understand the directions of the homework. And with this particular response, I'm afraid that we need to, maybe, we need to slow down the process and we need to come back to make sure that you understand what is behind the learning and what is behind the activities, okay? So we'll come back to that in a minute. Now let's take a look at what do you like most about the design. People will say the content of the design content of this G course or paired with learning. No, I wish I could spend more time on my major course and the courses which relate to my major. Now I think I fully respect your concern here, but you're not answering the questions. What do you like most? In other words, you really do not know why you take this course, and this course take up your time doing a major course. And I fully respect the time you need to devote to the major course. But in that case, cut this course, drop the G course, and concentrate on that major course, okay? So, because sometimes it also makes me confused too. Do you choose this course on your own, or someone choose this course for you? If you choose this course on your own, then I think you should not say something like this. If someone chooses this course for you and it's a forced action, you may come to me and tell me you're this difficult or something like this. Okay, sometimes the answer itself tells a little bit of the mentality of you, and as a teacher, I fully respect your particular concern. You need it and keep me in touch. I like a robot. I didn't provide a robot in this class. I didn't mean the documentary. You can buy video speaking, even discuss on that, make you feel fresh. That's good. The older videos, okay? So learn by watching video. I think it's the video, it's just the means to an end, okay? And the technologies and the discussion, that's good. Now let's take a look at the most interesting things about this. I say, what do you think needs to change? We're going to have more interactions between classmates. That's what you're looking for in a second and third learning contract. Nothing to be criticized, never learning experience and them. Reduce homework for this course. I did provide suggestions to reduce homework in a sense. Reduce in one way, number of items, then for the time. So I've given you the questionnaire to ask for your feedback. And the requirement of the course is too high for me. I think the requirement of the course is, if it's too high for you, you didn't come and talk to me. In what sense? Does it mean the language is English or Chinese or something? Let's give them more freedom to choose their own courses. Have I given you less freedom than you expect to choose your own courses? What courses do you need here? Actually, I believe I give a lot of freedom for you to choose, but I would try to listen more. Assignments would be more, less, and easily. It would be an easy assignment in what sense, all right? Now, I can give you no assignment at all, and one final exam. But in this course, traditionally speaking, we do not have any final exam. We just want to make sure that we give you a chance to learn something you may not have a chance to learn in major courses. And so to learn something, it takes time. and to learn something that might be new to you, so you need to have another set of courage to support that. And more, on the one hand you say more, and on the other hand you say less, more or less, and then easily. So we try to give you enough choices there. I think the syllabus is too much. In a sense, there are many items, but you understand that for each item there is a learning skill behind this item. For example, when you write a journal, the skills behind is to make sure you have a training in thinking critically in terms of OIA, take notes, share your journals with your learning partner in discussion forum to make sure you know how to express and render your point under these communications. Write a report, make sure you have the ability to organize something, keep the important things, take away the less important things, and then have discussions with your learning partner, right and wrong, to make sure you have the ability to summarize something. So in the process of knowledge management, it's the internalization process, note-taking, externalization process, which you have to say it out. It's a socialization process, you have to negotiate your learning partner. Also the generation process, which you have to write your report and write your blog. And also a dissemination process later on in your learning portfolio. So not to make something I can understand, okay? Nothing I can't follow. Okay, if you can't follow, make sure you come to talk with me and see if we can come up with a strategy to help you. You cannot understand clearly. You cannot expect to understand something only once with one-time reading. I'm afraid many of you have these misconceptions because you have come to class often enough that you listen to a professor telling you something once on the whiteboard and you will forget about it. When you understand it, it's good. When you don't understand it, you don't understand it. But in this course, the most important thing is you can always repeat what you study with a video, with the class video, with the resource, as many times as you want. So normally it takes a student to watch a video at least 2 times to understand the concept. But the question is, do you have time to watch it 2 times? Sure, it's about your time management. So if you really can't understand something after you've done all these, talk to your fellow students, make sure you come to talk to me. It's very important that we open up the channels to understand your ability. And remember, the purpose of this course is to help you to transition from a talk-to-learn student to a learn-to-learn student. There will be something new you have to encounter. And if you have any questions, you need to come to talk with me. So after reading this questions, their results, I've just come up with an immediate idea about your second learning contract, and that is, I sent out an announcement after watching or reading this particular thing, and the announcement is about the questions there on using coursework after learning contract #1. And I expressed my concerns to you. The concern is maybe this class of students needs some more help. So I say, if you look at the course schedule, okay, if you look at the course schedule, by the end of this week, you have to submit another set of learning artifacts for learning contract #2, okay? If you look at the course schedule. So I say, no, I guess this class of students needs some help. So on September the 30th, which is about 5 days earlier, I sent out this message. You know, to help reduce the workload of this course learning, because I do not know, I would say I do not know enough of each one of you. So I say this one. Let's forget about submitting the learning artifacts for learning contract #2 by the end of this week. And let's try to combine learning contract #2 and learning contract #3 together, so that you have at least 1 full month's time to reorganize yourself as a team, okay, to learn how to get things done. And so I say, if you agree to this arrangement, forget about the artifacts for learning contract #2 and just concentrate on creating a team, and then work with the team member with 1 full month's time, and then submit the learning artifact for learning contract #3 only at the end of this month. So I asked you this, and asked you to fill out the questionnaire, and let's see how many of you have filled the questionnaire. I just have 3 of you respond. So what about the rest of you? Do you have any idea? You do not want to reduce the coursework, or you did not read this at all. It's already sent to your email and it's already done in the last week. Now, if you have not done this, could you do this question in now so that I can understand your possible response? This is something that I did 6 days ago after reading your feedback of your questionnaire for learning project number 1, and also read some of the response on your midterm course survey. But it looks like not many of you have responded, so today I just take this out to make sure that you know that. And now the question is, it's very important that you keep yourself in touch with the Moodle environment, because every day I'm going to give you some messages there. And you have to use this Moodle environment to enable you to learn. And even the best teacher cannot help if you do not respond to requests like this. So may I just invite you to spend a couple of minutes here just so that I understand your orientations. Only 3 students responded, and all the 3 said yes. We want to combine learning culture and materials 3 together so that we do not need to have a rush submissions after second set of learning artifacts. But interestingly speaking, maybe you're too busy doing the holiday. I took what you said very seriously, and I immediately sent out the message, but until today I got a chance to come back to you to see how you feel. It's important that you understand it's teamwork, studying in a single learning contract and a third learning contract. And have you sent me the information about your team formation yet? It's already there in week number 6, coming online discussion forums. Okay? So maybe we could work out something together. It's right here. You see that I got 0 response. It's again, it's sent out on September the 30th. And I asked you, please help me so that I know your team formations, because from that day on, you just have less than 12 days time to finish the learning project number 2's artifacts. And if you do not give me your team formations, how can you complete the artifacts? So I say, I don't think does not seem to be going as expected. So you also need to give me your team formations today. And actually, it's already delayed by 1-2 weeks already. Okay? So let me go back to the questionnaire. You can see how the responses do we have to respond. Now we have 6 responses now. 6 said yes. And how many students do we have here? About 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We have 13 students here. So 7 students. Would you please help by giving us the response? We need at least half of the class, more than half the class to go for particular proposals like this. Okay? I think the most important thing you need to know is these assignments are not given 1 week before it's due. This assignment given from day 1 of the semester. So your job, once you know the schedules of the work, you need to plan ahead. When you need to plan ahead, that means if this is an assignment for individual persons, you can do it alone. If this is an assignment with compositions related to pair work, you need to do it with your learning partner. And part of this work needs to be done as a team if you need a team member. So with that, you need to organize yourself. So with this classwork, it's very good. You can organize yourself as a pair and then as a team. So then we can spend time, if the pace of your learning is not that on the same page, then we can spend time working things together. Okay? So the way to respond to this team nominations and confirmation is to click on the reply button, copy this table, type in the details, the pair name, the members name in your pair, and so we can work things together. Okay? I have to apologize because I got a flu and I have to speak under the influence of a cold today. So this has to be adjusted accordingly. So we have 6 students who say yes. It's very encouraging. So well, now we have 7 students say yes. And what about the team formations? Let's go for it. Let's see if you can give me some information on the team formations. It's very important that you know that what is expected of you. For me, I can just go through the course with the material prepared on Moodle environment, but you have to be responsible for producing the artifacts of learning. This is an evidence of their achievement. Because we do not go for examinations in this class, we go for your learning artifacts, okay? If you've done something with the learning artifacts at Compass, we give you the scores as expected, and I think you've already got the score for your journal for the first learning contract, and you will have to score your block report by the end of the day. That's going to be completed by the end of this week, okay? So, if you look at the schedule, we should be in week number 7 today, which is day number 13, because we lost day number 11 and 12 last week in week number 6. But what's good about the Moodle environment is, you know that these are the material we need to study, and these are the field. You can actually selectively, we want 2 or 3 of this resource, and you can help yourself learn something. Okay, that's the purpose of living the resources there 24/7 is also very important. That's the response from your learning contract number 1 set. They're useful for you to understand something. Okay, let's take a look at. Could you give me the team formations after you finish the question there? Okay, let's take a look at it now. If you have not finished the questionnaire, make sure you finish the questionnaire first, and then we get to the team formations in a minute. When you take a look at the number of students in this class, we have actually 18 students, all right? So today's we have 13 students here. I mean, 6 students are not present today. So we have to have, say, more than 9 students response, or 9 students response, or more than 9 students response to kick off the proposal, okay? So let's go back here. All right, let's give you a break to ensure that we can finish the question there and the team formations. So in the meantime, you see that my nose is sucking, so I need a simple excuse in the toilet room, and I'll come back in a minute. thank you for your patience. I'm back with better nostril passage today. Okay, let's see. Do we have more than? Yes, that's very good. Now we have 11 responses and 11 you got. And yes, that means we could proceed with combining LC002 with LC003. That means you are not obliged to submit the artifacts for LC002 by the end of this weekend, which will be very rushed for all of you, okay? Now the next step you need to do in order to get started with your work in LC003, which is very important, is that you must have a team formation. So could you give me your team information here? Now, only one person from your team could give me. You do not need to repeat by pressing reply here. So once you press reply, since we have only 18 students in this class, and one team could take 4 students, so we have 4 teams with 16 students. With the 5th team, have only 3 students. Okay, so let's try to see how we can accommodate the remaining team. Okay, so make sure you give me your information first. So we have a 4, 4, 4, 4, and 3. All right. So can you proceed to make sure you now give me your team formation detail? Now you're free to talk about members of your team by walking to the tables of your target teammates, okay? And I know it's difficult if you do not have your team members or your peer members with you today. But let's try our best to get those things done first. And then I'll come back to offer you ideas on what I can help to improve your work, all right? I've just finished grading your journal, and from reading the journal, I understand that many of you stop where you should not stop, all right? And many of you did good work. So how can we combine strength of different pairs and groups together so that you will be helped in the process of doing this? And I'm thinking of doing exercise right here in class instead of just going through the topics. Looks like we need some help, but I need your support in order to change the course of my private lessons that's already stated in the Moodle environment, okay? So let's do with the team formation first. Do we have any responses? You just need to click reply and then copy and paste the table and fill in detail. Have you found your team pair? Not yet? Can you talk with them to see which pair you want to pair up with? On the left, on the right, on your back? Yes. Have you found your team pair? Yes. Okay. Have you found your team pair? Can you find one here? There's a lady next to you, another pair. You need a team to work things out. You have to find your team pair. Have you? Can you just make decisions on your, have you find your team pair? You need another pair. You're a pair already, all right? Yes, you need another pair. You want to pair with Faith, right? Faith, yes. Joanna, looks like you are alone today. Have you found your team pair?
I'll let my teammate choose.
Okay, and then your teammate? They're not here today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, you have, do you need your help to find your team pair? Your teammate chosen someone for you?
Yes.
Okay, so you know which other pair you want to connect? Do you know? Okay, can you give me the information? I think you're set. Okay. I have to apologize one more time because my cold influence, I have to talk like this today. Maybe I can slow down. Can you give me the information through this forum discussions now? Yes, Joanna is there, Lennon is there. It's okay. Now, once you have already got the information, so the informations, can you reply to my friend here by pressing reply and give me this box of information with your team name, with your pair name, and the members' ID and name in the box. Can you do that now? Yes. In the meantime, I'm going to take attendance for today to make sure that I have the record. It's going to be a challenge all the time to synchronize the progress of individual student and class, and we need to make important decisions, and we have to do things together. So Joanna is here. Lauren, are you here today? Lauren is not. Gaho, are you here? Gaho is not. Okay. Abiel she's not here. She's not going to be here yet. Ivy is here, Erika is here, Vincent is here, Faith is here, Faye is here, and then Apple is here, thank you, and then Coco is here, Calvin is not here today, all right, Brandon, thank you, Bobby is here. Eddie, thank you. Max is here. Rufus is here, thank you. Dio is not here today. So we have Neo is not here. Calvin is not here. Yes, and Gahos and Norman is not here. Forgive me, sometimes it wastes a little bit of the time, of your time to do this housekeeping, which should have been done, and you could have already given me the information earlier. But if I do not do it now, it would be difficult for me to set up the team page for you. So we do have this first group, okay? This is Ivy, Max, Coco, and Bobby, all right? So interesting that you use only Chinese name instead of English name. I remember that, okay? So we have one team given, which is given by Bobby. So do we have a second team? So I'm looking for the second team, waiting for the second team. So out of 18 students, we're good. Now we have 14 students left. Is your team ready? During the time of your giving me this information, allow me to share with you a little bit of my observations. I discovered that maybe you are so much used to the talk to learn model. So when you come to this class, the exercise itself does not seem to be very much conventional. So you discover that you may not know how to handle this. But I guess that is what college is all about. You need to discover more about yourself. And the exercise design here, you can have a lot of freedom to do. The point here is, do you have a schedule to get your things done? And you must have a schedule. For example, you know that that's just the decisions that's already made. By the end of this month, October, I guess the 25th, right? Let's check the calendar. Okay, so let's give it a full month's time. So you have to submit the artifacts for your learning contract number 3. Now let's go to see where you can see that. So you come here, you go to submissions, okay? Submissions for artifact number 3, you have up to October the 31st to do it. That means November the 1st and November the 2nd will be the 2 days to collect the artifacts for your third learning contract. And today is the 5th of October. That means you have 25 to 27 days to do it. That means you have actually 3 weeks plus half a week to do this. And you must start today by making sure that you know who your team members are, and then you need to check the requirements of the artifacts, okay? When you check the requirements of the artifacts here, you can see by comparing the 3 learning contracts, now you do not need to work this out. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like this. But if this looks a little bit confused, you can always go back to this environment. You go down to learning contract number 3 submissions. Now you can ignore learning contract number 2. You go down to learning contract number 3 submissions, which is after week number 10. So these are the artifacts you need to produce. You got to have a team proposal. You got to have a team report. You got to have a PowerPoint produced. You got to have a digital story, which means narrations of your voice recorded over the PowerPoint. You must have the meeting minutes. You must have your individual online learning journal, one topic, okay, which is selected from week number 5 to week number 10, all right? One of the many topics there. You must have your personal blog. You must have a team discussion form detail, okay? And then you must have a self-assessment form completed on the work done by every other members of your team. And then you will complete another student experience questionnaire for that. So compared to the artifacts in the first or second learning contract, they're basically the same, except that you need to produce the PowerPoint, the digital stories, which is voiced over the PowerPoint, and the report should have 2 topics, because in your team you have 2 pairs, and each pair you need to contribute 1 topic, and because of 2 pairs in your team, your report must contain 2 topics, just like in your first learning contract, which is a report with 2 topics, 1 for each of the peer member. And the PowerPoint must be done based on the report, okay? And the digital story must be done based on the PowerPoint. You narrate your presentations, you record your presentations, your voice over the PowerPoint, so that at the end of that you could play the digital story down in a video file. And all the members of your team must participate in doing this digital story. And so you must have an MC here, organizers, to say which goes first, which part is done by which, and then individual students will have to record it. And you have to learn how to use the PowerPoint features to record the narrations, okay? And then all the other things just the same, not much difficult. So from week number 5 to week number 10, you need to select a topic. And the topic will become the proposal. Now this topic is a little bit different because technically speaking, in the report you have 2 topics, okay, 1 pair, 1 topic. And then the report and the proposals give you 1 topic. So how are you going to harmonize the 2 topics which you're going to include in your report and the PBL proposals topic? That is something called a challenge of learning contract number 3. In learning contract number 2, you do not need to care about this, because in learning contract number 2, this report just contains 2 topics, 1 from each pair. But in learning contract number 3, besides the 2 topics, 1 from each pair, you must harmonize the 2 topics to also produce 1 important proposal topic, okay? that is what we call somewhat like a third topic, but actually it's a harmonization of the two topics. And with that third topic, you're going to produce a PowerPoint, you're going to produce a digital story. So I'm going to elaborate more on how this is going to be done in learning contract number 3. If you have gone through learning contract number 2, you understand that if you look at the artifacts of learning contract number 2, one of the important artifacts you need to produce for learning contract number 2 is called a pair proposal. A pair proposal. Just like the individual proposals in your first learning contract. So when you enter the third learning contract entry on your table with the 4 persons or from 2 pair, you should have 4 individual proposals and 2 pair proposals. This is the original design. Now that we do not need to do the second learning contract, but each one of you has already submitted your individual proposal in learning contract number 1. So you can bring 4 individual proposals into learning contract number 3 because each one of you have already done this. Now the question is, how can you harmonize the 4 individual proposals from 4 of team members in learning contract number 1 into one single PBL proposal in learning contract number 3? My suggestion minutes ago, but I have to elaborate more on this, is for the team which have 2 pair, each pair must think of at least 1 proposal first, okay? And then you can break 2 pair proposal into this PBL proposal table, which is learning contract number 3, and then you start harmonizing 2 pair proposals instead of 4 individual proposals. And then do not look down on this. There's a lot of discussions there, a lot of communications there, a lot of presentations there to harmonize from 2 pair proposal into one single team proposal. The possibility, one of the 2 proposal wins. So everybody will use 1 proposal. Second, both the proposal from the 2 pair are not good enough. And so the team will think of a new proposal. This is possibility 2. Okay? So at least 2 possible choice there. So I will help you to do something specific here by doing something in class. I will spend at least 30 minutes in class, besides giving you 30 minutes to share, just to do this pair part, starting from first day. Okay, I would like to bring you along with this learning contract stuff because we have a wonderful classroom here. So the first thing you need to do now, before we can start on first day, is to see if your team formation is completed. Let's see, do we have any other teams here? Can you give me your team formation there by clicking? Yes. Do you have it? Can you just do it here by clicking reply? Yeah. Because we need that information. Otherwise, we'll always start where we are. If I do not have this information, I cannot set up the teams. Okay? I know that your teams are set, all right? You have 2 pairs. Can you copy this table here? Yes, can you copy this table here and press reply, and so you will provide the names, okay? As your teacher, I should never get discouraged because the slow movement of many of you, but I have to make sure that if any one of you believe you have to stop me, you can stop me so that I can repeat the information. Yes, try. Do it now, please. And Leonard, have you found your team pair yet? Any suggestions? So, the other one. We have to wait until more students come back in order to do this. All right. So But you can see that from the pairs informations here, from the pairs informations, let's see, this is from week number 3. Yeah. It's at the end of week number 5, which come from the teams, but we have not. Yes, because of the holiday week. And that's from the pair informations. So, my suggestion, the pair information is already here, okay? So now we have one team form. You can send email to those other pair which you want to collect in order to form your team, and then ask them to give you a reply on Thursday so that we could have something done, all right? Because without a team, it's very difficult for us to go forward because we need to have team talk. So from this first day onward, I cannot walk too close. I'm afraid I might hurt you because of the food. From this first day onward, can you sit together, the two pairs, okay? So that we start have teamwork study class. Thank you very much.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Where do I get the form where I fill it in?
Okay. You mean where can you find this?
The group, the pair.
The pair. Where can you get this one?
No, the other.
The other, that means the team, right? That it's on week number 6. Week number 6, Public Online Discussion Forum. So you go to week number 6, go to the Public Online Discussion Forum. You will see there is something called team pair nominations and confirmations. And what you need to do is to copy and paste the table after pressing reply, okay? I think I have to stop here today. Can you let me go take a break? Yes. So thank you very much for coming back, and we'll see you again on Thursday, all right? So actually, I don't want to make you feel cold. I cannot be too close to you today. Thank you very much.